Warning! This podcast is not suitable for work. Grab your earphones and head to the bathroom if you want to keep your job. Listener discretion is advised. Your episode begins in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this book. We are seeing shit we ain't never seen before on the Lusty Library podcast.
I was getting a little concerned you were becoming so desensitized that we were never going to read a book again that was going to shock you, but this was it?
Oh, consider me shook.
I mean, it did take a few things to the next level.
Lexx,
Yes.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to talk about this book?
15.
Oh, shit. 15 on the excitement scale?
Yes.
And to our dear friend Joey over here?
So I was really excited about this book until I just heard how much Lexx wants to talk about it. I have a feeling fisticuffs will be brewing, blood may be shed.
I was yelling at the book.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
So usually I read on my commutes or at lunch, at work. Actually, had the house to myself, had some music on, may have made a martini. I was fucking yelling at this book so much and underlining and making notes and being like, I can't wait to talk to them about this because I know there's going to be a conversation.
Oh. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm your host, Birdie. So if this is your first time listening, this is what we do. We choose a romance novel that none of us have read before. We read it, and then we talk about it over a cocktail or 6. So whether you're new here or we're so old hat to you that us 3 dirty dames have since become fixtures in your ears, we're just glad you're here. And while you're at it, enjoying yourself and listening today, why don't you scroll over in whatever platform you're listening on and give us a nice 5-star rating and review, will ya? It tells the algorithm that people are listening, and they give enough shits to spend 5 seconds rating us. So we must be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty please, write us a rating, please. And if you enjoy listening to me beg, if that's doing it for you, keep listening, because this book is for you.
Oh, we could start a Cameo account where in exchange for 5-star ratings, we can just have you beg.
Yeah.
We'll be venturing into a whole new industry right there.
Birdie will beg, and then I'll tell you what to do.
Perfect. I don't know if everybody's going to be able to handle what we've got in store for you today. We are hot. We are in Paris. And we are cooking with Gray and Aurélie in Shades of Red by Willow Prescott. Let me read this summary for you. Forbidden fruit has never tasted so sweet. Paris is full of vibrance and flavor. It's a place where dreams are forged and broken. The city of love has everything to offer, and I want it all. There's a new restaurant in town offering a unique chance at becoming sous chef if you can prove you're the best of 10 competitors. And I won't let anything stand in the way of my culinary victory. But the pretty little French girl with golden hair and cherry red lips sharing my station in the 10 kitchen throws my entire world off its axis. Aurélie is the surprise I never saw coming and the distraction I never wanted. And more than anything else, I want to make her mine. She feeds a darker side of me that I don't think I can ever deny again. And I'm dying for another taste. Warning! This is a dark and spicy romance that contains morally gray characters and themes and situations some readers may find triggering. Please read with caution.
Oh, honey, that's just not enough. So let me give the full disclaimer that is in the book.
Thank you, please
Are
do.
we prepared for this?
Yes. I can't wait.
This book contains many triggers, including but not limited to kinky fuckery, blood play, excessive use of knives in various ways, cum play, spanking, dubcon, mention of domestic violence, kinky hide and seek, spitting, inappropriate use of cooking utensils and food items, violence, murder, and gore. A full list of triggers can be found at the website or on the back of the book. Full disclosure, the triggers are spoilers.
Wow.
Fuck yes!
I don't think we've read a book so far that has gore, that specific word. Man, I mean, we have read a lot of gore. Who am I kidding? This is particularly brutal, though.
See, but I'm just like, great, thank you for the detail, Willow. Greatly appreciate that picture you painted for me. Superb. Birdie, I know you didn't read the Kindle book.
Right.
So this new thing that I never really noticed was fucking dedications. Now I'm obsessed with such a well-written dedication.
Oh, do you not usually read dedications and all that stuff?
No, usually I go to chapter 1.
In these books, they've been so funny, usually.
Yeah. This one is to anyone who's ever watched a cooking show and thought, yes, chef, sounded kinky as fuck. You were right. I was done for.
That's me. That's the exact reason I wanted to read this
Yeah.
book. If it didn't have a yes, chef moment in a sexual manner, I was going to be fucking pissed.
Oh, it gave it to you.
Oh, yeah.
It gave it to you times 10.
It was great. Today, to fuel our upcoming lusty conversation, we are drinking a French 95.
When you slid the glass over to me, you're like, Joey, I even think you're going to like this. I was like, I don't know. Hell yeah. This is fucking delish.
I'm glad you like it. I think a lot of people have heard of the French 75. This is the French 95. It's a take on the French 75, but with bourbon instead of gin, which is the original.
Yeah. And this is very yummy. Like, it is sweet, but it's not too sweet.
Yeah. The reason I chose this drink is I felt like I understood Gray so much.
Wow.
And that this is what he would have made.
I agree with that statement, yes.
So he wouldn't make a French 75 because
No.
that's too traditional.
Correct.
He's going to say, fuck you. I'm going to degrade your French 75 and I'm going to put fucking bourbon in it because also he likes bourbon. He loves to disrespect all sorts of French things. Blank, 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 blank. Women, dining tables, dresses, cream. Listen to more intel about that. Sign up for our mailing list on our website to have the recipe for our upcoming cocktails delivered to your inbox.
Where do you even want to begin with this?
What do you mean? We're going to begin. Let's start at the very beginning. Actually, we're not going to start with the prologue. I want to jump ahead just a tiny bit to actually chapter 1.
Okay.
Where we meet Gray and Aurélie in this scenario. And oh my fucking God, do I love the construct of this book. Like, it was a little bit on the nose in the sense that it's a chef competition, but they're competing for a job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved reading about the food. Every chapter is a different name of a different dish that they're competing on against each other. Our MMC Gray, he's so great with savory.
I think that's your other thing is he went savory and you're a savory.
I'm a savory girl.
Oh, he is not a patissier at all.
No.
Do not ask the man to bake shit for you because he's going to fuck it up.
That's how you lost me. I'm like, he doesn't know about precision.
This man, he was made for me in the kitchen.
Yes.
All right. So the restaurant that they're competing in is brand new. These blades have never touched a carrot before. All the knives are new. The whole place is sparkling.
And it's not even open.
They're already booked out because of the buzz, because of the lead chef.
But also, can we just talk about the fact that it's a brand new restaurant? They're still building it out. They're still choosing the tables, but somehow the kitchen's already built.
Oh, that's the most important part.
I know, but like, since when has a restaurant ever been that coordinated that the kitchen is done months before it opens?
Suspension of disbelief.
Okay, I know.
For this prestigious spot of sous chef, they're going to keep 10 contestants there for the summer until they narrow it down to one sous chef who's going to work under this master chef for their opening. So it makes sense that conceptually the chef has already organized, architected, and built the kitchen
Yeah.
while they work on the rest of the concept for the dining room and such like that.
And in my brain also, like, if it wasn't perfect yet, that's part of the competition because shit goes wrong and how do you deal with it and
Yeah.
still have a beautiful, perfect
Right.
presentation.
So it's day 1, and Gray walks in to his station, which he discovers that he is number 9, and they shall not be using names. They shall be using numbers so that there is no emotional attachment, which I really thought was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Gray's getting ready, he's touching his knives, he's petting all the nice, clean, sharp things, and in walks this gorgeous, wavy-haired blonde.
10 minutes late.
Number 10, you're late. She comes clicking in her fucking Louboutin heels. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're coming into a kitchen in heels. Isn't that like a fucking OSHA violation or something?
Well, as long as they're not open-toed.
She's gonna slip and kill herself in 5 seconds in those heels. Also, she's standing for like 10 hours at once. Oh, come on.
That shows you how serious she actually is.
So that killed me from the first second that we met her.
There's your first clue. How she's dressed is a detail of her background, her story.
Absolutely. He sees her, he's a smitten kitten. He registers that she's got Band-Aids on her knees, scrapes, these like red marks on her knees. And he kind of gives her this like, you okay? And she's just like, oh, I'm such a klutz. I fell off my bike when I was coming this way. I was late. He calls bullshit on this person he's barely even met for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
He's used to that because we find out in that moment that he is used to seeing his mother have strange, quote, accidents. And then his mother had an accident that involved her falling down the stairs and breaking her neck.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, his sisters started to have, quote, accidents.
Mm-hmm.
So he arranged for his dad to have an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, now this is what we're talking about. All right. So this guy is passionate about keeping women safe, especially his women. Lock that away, will ya? Did you like Gray?
No.
No? Lex, why did you not like Gray?
We don't have 3 hours for me to talk about how much I don't like Gray.
Wow.
A lot of it has to do with his internal monologue and seeing into his eyes, and we'll get there. But later on, the way he talks about what he does and he ends up doing for her down the road, it didn't come across to me as, oh, I'm protecting this precious love of my life. It came across more as, don't touch my things.
Joey, tell me more.
I liked Gray.
Of course you did.
His backstory, I think, is phenomenal.
Yes.
You clearly know his dad sucked.
Yep.
Mom had a terrible accident.
Yep.
Sister, you went into that whole kit and caboodle.
Yep.
He went to his first year at a college in Chicago for business, decided that's not what he wanted to do, picks up, moves to Paris, and learns how to cook from the bottom up.
Loved that about him.
He is absolutely driven. He is confident with a slight bit of cocky. He knows he's getting this sous chef position. We'll talk a little bit about more of what you're saying. I think there is a very fine line between protecting something you love and protecting something you own. The line is very, very thin.
Uh-huh. In general, like, we've had other MMCs who have used their tragic backstory to make the world a better place. I don't think Gray's going to go making the world a better place. He might make some wonderful food, and I'll go eat it, but I don't think he's going to be changing things and championing the downtrodden and the people who are survivors of domestic violence and things like that.
Well, but he has made the world a better place by removing a
Yeah.
horrible person from it. Would you not agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're accepting vigilantes, but I really liked Gray. I liked him as a person. I would totally date him. Maybe I would date him. I have to think about this more. Hold on. I'm actually not. I wouldn't date him.
Wow. Backpedal.
Here's the thing. You go and you learn about him at first and you're like, wow, this guy's hot. Strangely enough, this book never really gave me a visual for what he looked like.
Tall, I think, is the
Yeah.
only inclination I got out of there. I can't even
Right.
remember his hair color.
Is it dark blonde?
Is it? I know he's tattooed. He's all tatted up, but
Hot.
build-wise, was he muscular? Was he
When I
toned?
pictured him as that, like, swimmer body. Like,
Yeah.
athletic.
He did talk about working really hard to maintain musculature and lean.
But I don't see him as bulky.
No. I was like, okay, the image that I have in my head, I think is kind of hot. The way he talks about food, his passion, his drive, his love for his mother and his sisters and doing right by them. Very hot. Obviously, I don't really think that I am a sub in the way that he needs someone to be.
Oh, no, hands down, me neither. No.
There is no way.
No, but there are people that want that role.
Right.
We are just not them.
Right.
No.
The important part of what we're learning in this first moment is that he sees her skinned knees. He likes the look of blood. He wonders what she would look like painted with more of it against her pale, creamy skin, tears in her eyes, and that she would look so beautiful, all fucked up.
Sadist. Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I went,
Whoa!
yeah. Okay. This book is written single POV.
And the POV being only male.
And written so convincingly that I was like, is this actually a male writer with a female nom de plume?
Yeah,
You know?
interesting. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually convinced that this was an actual man.
So, great job, Willow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really felt like I knew Gray from reading this book. I understood who he was, every decision he would make, what kind of clothes he would choose. I could go in the grocery store and pick what he would buy. I felt like I really understood every nook and cranny of how his brain worked.
I absolutely agree with that. He lives on the pages.
Yeah.
And is not one-dimensional.
Yeah. What about our golden girl, Aurélie? Did you like her, Joey?
She. So, when they first meet, they have a lot of banter.
Yes.
She presents upper class, snooty, l'Américain. Just the quintessential French princess who comes from upper class and culture. And I felt in the beginning of the book with Gray that she was almost throwing it in his face from their first interaction on day one at the competition. I started to like her a little more, but as the book progressed, I went, I pretty much will say she was okay. I didn't immediately connect with her. I didn't feel that I was going through the book in her shoes.
I started to feel protective of Gray because I liked him, and I was starting to get pissed off that she was not giving him what he really wanted.
Wait a minute. I see the crinkling in your forehead, Lexx.
Yep. Yep, you do. Okay, so.
Whoa, did you just watch that scroll that she opened up across the floor for her notes for Aurélie?
I got hit in the face with it when it opened up. Yep.
So first of all, remember, we are looking at her through the lens of Gray the entire time. So every action, words, things, it's all through his interpretation. So we already have a skewed view of her. I will say from the beginning, we get that something's wrong. She's got something going on in her background. And if I remember correctly, she's the only female in the competition.
No, there's three.
There's three? Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like they were trying to be diverse, and he does call that out.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
They didn't give a shit. They just chose whoever the fuck they wanted. Diversity be fucked.
Instead of starting with 5 women, 5 men,
right.
they had 7 men and 3 women.
Yes.
We've all worked in industries that are male-dominated. So her being very off-putting at the beginning, I absolutely took as bravado for I'm in the middle of a competition. The women are outnumbered. we're in an industry where the women usually are not in the top positions. Yeah, you push back. And that's exactly how I took her, of just not taking his shit, especially where right from the beginning, he starts doing all these little innuendos and not so little innuendos. And this is the workplace. This is my competition. Step the fuck back. But I understand, too, that this is a romance novel and they're supposed to get together. The three of us know I am not a sub. I do not deal well with people getting in my fucking space. You knew when I read this novel, I was already going to be like, fuck off. And this is where in the middle of my living room at 9 o'clock at night, I'm yelling like,
Oh my
fuck
God.
you, dude, back off. But as we went through the book and we get more of her background, yeah. But
She's complex. Ugh.
yeah,
She's just as fucked up as he is.
absolutely,
yeah.
1,000%.
Ugh.
She's actually probably more fucked up than
Yeah.
he is. They immediately have this connection, though. He probably a little bit more than her, but she doesn't say no. She doesn't immediately push him away, but she's not really dishing it right back to him. So she doesn't say stop. We have established that there is a smitten kitten connection. We start moving about our competition. And it is not long before we are getting into some scenarios, let's call them. Of course, one of the moves in the competition, they've been doing dishes alone. Now they're asked to do a dish with a partner.
And they don't get to pick their partner. It's assigned.
And it's totally like middle school.
1 and 2 are paired together. 3 and 4 are paired together. 5 and 6. Well, guess what? So are 9 and 10.
There we go.
Yep.
So they are partners. The competition is super fun. You have to make the best dish for the least amount of money. So they had to go out, they had a budget, and they had to meet or come in under their budget. So they're sent out to the markets, come back in 4 hours with all your stuff, make me a meal by X o'clock and make it great. They are partnered up. They go out to the market and she's immediately like, oh, well, of course we have to go to Le Bloc.
Yeah.
Oh, really? We ain't going to the fancy butcher for the budget competition. Gray is like, no, your decision-making privileges have been revoked. Absolutely not. We're going to the market and we're going to shop the fuck around. I'm not going to let you blow our budget on this. My ass is on the line. I'm working really hard to be here. I'm going to fucking win this and I'm not going to let you drag me down. And I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Take charge.
So they walk into the market and they're at the front stalls. And she sees these mushrooms and she's like, oh, great, here are the mushrooms. He's like, stop. You need to look around. Of course, the best produce is at the outside of the market.
The best and most expensive.
Expensive.
So he brings her further in and they see these mushrooms that are just as good quality for €3 less a kilo.
So she's shocked. And then she's like, oh, okay. All right, fine.
When he shows her the mushrooms at the cheaper cost, he says to her, keep testing me, and I'll take you into the back of one of these alleys, push you against the hard stone wall, lift up your dress, and spank you until your ass matches that pretty shade of red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
guess what she decides to do?
She decides to test him. Yeah.
So with 2 hours left in the competition, she starts to head to Le Bloc again. And he's like, where are you going? And he drags her into the fucking alley.
I just want to remind everybody, we are in Paris. It is summer. It is hot. It is sticky. They've been walking around the market for an hour and a half. She's wearing a dress. She's drenched in sweat. He's drenched in sweat.
And it was very odd because when he dragged her into the alley, he basically said to her, listen, I'm in charge. You're going to do what I tell you to do, and we're going to go where I'm going to tell you to go.
Yeah.
And she sits there up against the wall, and he says to her, well, what are you waiting for? She said, I'm waiting for you to make good on your promise.
Yeah.
So that's as good as consent right there. Right, Lex? Is that as good as consent?
Looking through his lens, he sees that as permission. If we had had another POV, and heard that she was like, I'm just waiting for him to do this, then it'd be like, okay, I can relax my shoulders a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of had to turn my brain off a little bit and go, this is not the real world, as Joey likes to remind us.
He does ask her why she's waiting for him to make good on his promise.
Yeah.
She said, because I earned it.
That's why I kind of felt like, okay, she's experimenting too.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm reasonably okay.
Okay. All right. So he spanks the ever-loving shit out of this one.
Oh, and he's loving every second of it. Loving it.
Rock hard.
Yeah.
I didn't really like the description of he's getting into a rhythm with it.
Why?
I don't know. That's not as fun as like a count to 10. We're going to do 10 like serious spanks.
Well, here's the thing. This was his first time. He had never done that. He had wanted to, but this was it.
Yes.
I think that's a very specific thing we need to call out is he doesn't have a lot of experience with this yet.
Yes.
And so he's kind of finding his way.
This is something that we find out in his inner monologue.
Yes.
He has these dark desires. He's not exactly inexperienced, but he's never known that these dark desires could be reciprocated.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the first person he's ever met who has been like, I want you to spank me. I want things to be naughty. I want to be hurt. This is the first time he's ever getting to do anything like this. They don't have a formal exchange like a lot of the books that we read about, where there's a contract, there's a reading of what everybody's limits are.
Yeah, no.
There's no safe word.
They're not setting a scene. This is just happening off the cuff.
So he's spanking her and he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for the gold. And he rips her fucking panties off, throws them into the filthy French alleyway, shoves his face into her sweaty French behind. Because she's leaning over against the wall while he's spanking her, and he crouches down behind her. So he's got like his nose in her butthole as he's licking into her vagina.
Wow, can you make it any less sexy?
No, this is just about accuracy. I just want to make sure that we are all understanding the scenario here.
Did you just hear my vagina dry up as you were saying that?
You have to read the book for the sumptuous description.
Right. So he essentially gets her off in the alleyway and she's screaming. He's like, this is the best thing ever.
Oh, but these people are nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So after it's done, he picks up her panties out of the alleyway and puts them back on her.
He did it on purpose.
I know,
I would just
but
rather go commando.
Yes.
Of course, I'm sure she would also, but he wants to make her dirty.
Yeah, I know.
This is what he wants, and she will do what he wants.
Let's sigh.
And close our first smutty scene.
But the biggest thing is, after the whole thing is done, she clearly enjoyed it. He sure as fuck enjoyed it. She says to him, no one can find out about this. My spidey senses started to kick in going, well, why is this a dirty little secret?
Oh, yes.
Guess we're going to find out.
At this point, now that we've told our listeners a good amount of what this book is about, this book starts getting smutty really fast.
Yes.
She avoids him the entire week.
Something's a little bit off. She's definitely got commitment issues, maybe. That's the first thing I think that he assumes. He also assumes that maybe he went a little bit too far with it.
Yeah.
Because he's still questioning all of these dark desires and how far he can take them. And is she really on board with it?
They have their next competition and they do their banter back and forth. And she says to him, if you win the next competition, I will think about letting you touch me again.
This is where he gets super hot.
And he fucking wins. Hands down. Because this is his jam. They were making soup.
Because this was actually a detail I really loved. Because you get the little bit of his background where there wasn't enough food in his home, and this is where his love for cooking comes, because he was trying to make the most out of what little they could find in the cabinets.
Right.
And he was trying to provide for his sister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is a check in the, all right, I like this about him
Yeah.
column.
Yeah.
I really liked that competition and that little look into Gray.
Really nice. So he's all excited, thinking he's won his prize and he's going to take her home until chef number 1 comes over and he invites everybody out for drinks. And then he says, 9 and 10, you coming with us? He looks over at her and she's like, of course we will. I love that she answered for both of them without them even talking in front of another person. That's weird. That's indicating some sort of connection. I started to get like icky about workplace connection. Nobody was supposed to know anything about them being together.
Oh, yeah, they suck at it.
Their stations are next to each other. You would make the assumption that they've built some sort of connection. They've been caught talking to each other multiple times.
Yeah.
So I think in the periphery for other competitors, it doesn't seem like more than station camaraderie.
I'm on the opposite side there. I think everybody already assumed that, like,
something was going on.
I don't think they thought it got far yet, but I think they all knew that they were both interested in each other. And they were like, hey, guys, you want to come out for a drink with us? I think they actually wanted to watch the interaction.
But the biggest reason Aurelie said yes so quickly is because she thought that she would get away from Gray and having to live up to the bet that she made him.
Or delay it.
Yes.
So when they get to the bar, there's only one seat left for them to sit at, and it's a little tiny love seat. And one says to them, oh, well, we could find you another chair if this is a problem for you.
Wink, wink.
Gray is like, no, it's not a problem. The blatant connection in a public setting is absolutely wild. Little does she know, Gray is not only a sadist, but an exhibitionist.
Just a wee bit.
He doesn't know what anything is. He just knows what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he's quite creative. I gotta give him credit for that. Love a creative man. Why don't we have our sexy stud read us this next scene?
Oh.
Sit still, I command, gripping her hip in one hand as I force the ice between her folds. She squeals when I press the ice directly against her clit, the temperature cold to the point of pain on her sensitive bundle of nerves. I rub the ice over her clit, using it to force her towards pleasure even as she squirms in discomfort. The ice melts in my hand under the heat of her cunt, creating a puddle of wetness on her dress and the seat below her. She groans when I reach to grab another piece of ice from my glass. Hush, I chide. You know you love it. She shakes her head when I thrust a new piece of ice between her legs, even as she starts to move her hips to grind against my hand. Yeah, you love it so much, you filthy little slut. So pretty moving those hips to rub ice all over your sweet clit. I pull out my dripping wet hand to grab another piece of my glass. It's almost melted away. Do you want to come, Sherry? Yes, she answers, nodding her head frantically at the same time. This is the last piece, I tell her as I hold up a cube of ice. If you can come before it melts, I'll let you. If not, you're not allowed to come at all tonight. Understood? Yes, chef, she whimpers. And fuck me, that phrase on her lips twists at my insides in a way that it's never done before. I feel like I could come without even touching my dick as I listen to her sweet moans with my hand on her cunt. Willing to give her a helping hand, I slide 2 fingers into her slick pussy. She keens at the sudden intrusion, her cunt clamping down on my hand as I continue to slide the ice over her clit. When I slam a 3rd finger inside her, she comes without warning, pulsing around my fingers as she bites down on her hand to keep from screaming and alerting the entire bar that she's orgasming with more than half my hand shoved up her cunt.
So we just crammed in dirty talk, We got our yes chef.
Yes.
We got temperature play. We got Dom Daddy. We got exhibitionism.
Mm-hmm.
It's got almost it all.
Yeah.
All right. This is a great, great scene. For anyone who's tracking, I love reading about exhibitionism because this is like the number one thing that I would absolutely never do, but super fun to read about. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He's literally like finger fucking her in a bar. You can't tell me somebody's not seeing this.
I absolutely was like, somebody's watching and they're just not making a big deal so that they can keep watching.
Yeah.
But as the group is still at the table, he sticks his hands down her panties, makes her shimmy them off while the other chefs are sitting there.
But they're all talking to each other.
Yeah.
And they're quote unquote hidden by the table.
Uh-huh. He puts her panties in his pocket.
Right.
And then makes her take his dick out. Just because with all the heat going on, he doesn't want it in his pants. This is all while people are around them.
It's not really out. It's just a little peeking.
Zipper undone.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, my God. The reason that I didn't choose one of the more in-depth scenes is because just to give everybody an idea of how these scenes are written, you hear a lot about how Gray is feeling and what he's thinking while all of these scenes are happening. So it's very hard to get a full scene in just like a minute or so.
Yeah.
You're very involved in what's going on in his brain.
Multiple pages for all of these scenes that happen.
The way this is written, if you want to experience these things but don't want to do them IRL, oh my God, read this. Because
Absolutely.
Willow writes it so well and it's so dirty. Give it a shot.
I have to tell you, I love, Birdie, that you are just temperature checking Lexx throughout this entire episode where you're waiting for that pivotal moment where she goes, fuck that.
Yes, I know.
I can't wait to find out when it happens.
I know. I can't wait for the moment that the bubble just bursts. The next sexy scene that we get is right after this. They go home, and I think he was really hoping he was going to be able to take her home after the bar.
Oh, not really hoping. He expected.
Well,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
And Spidey's senses go up again when she says to him, I can't. I have to be home by 12. And then, of course, we have a competition tomorrow. We have to be out early, so I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
So he gets home and he's dying because he's like, oh my God, I've gotten to touch her twice now, and I haven't gotten to get my dick wet once yet. And what happens is quite possibly the hottest masturbation scene I've ever read in my whole life, mostly because the narrator, Shay Howe, I rate this scene 10 out of 10 for narration. It was done so well. It was like you were watching a movie with the visuals turned off. This was not a reading. This was an acting. It was incredible. The breathing, the emphasis, and the words. He takes her panties, wraps them around his dick, and proceeds to fuck his own fist like he's fucking her, face down into like a pillow.
Didn't he put the pillow between his thighs?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It lifts off the page if you just read it just as well.
Right.
And I actually like how just dirty and not graceful sounding this is, just how real.
He was having a conversation like she was in the room, like he was actually fucking her, which then brought me to a little bit of weirdness.
It was a little bit weird.
It went from hot to, oh, that's fucking creepy. Well, I guess you're fantasizing, you're calling out that person's name. I don't know. All right, so maybe I'll retract that statement.
So yeah, if a woman is masturbating at home and calls out a guy's name, do you think it's creepy? But if a man does it, is it creepy?
It's more, he was doing full sentences. He was
like she was in the room.
That's true.
I think that's what made it just a tad weird for me, to the point where it was so vivid for him
Yes.
that the peonies were an amalgamation of her And then when he was done, he took their dirty panties and threw them on what would be her side of the bed.
Uh-huh. And the derogatory things he was saying.
The last moment where he's like getting off was so great. He's like, "You're my dirty little whore." And it was like, wow, okay. That's what does it for you, Gray. All right. Have fun with that. It was shocking to me because I was like, this derogatory phrasing is not really my jam, but I still was like, damn, this is hot.
Okay, that's a good thing to bring up. You keep temperature checking me.
Yeah.
So there's a term called trigger stacking.
Uh-huh.
And like you can hit something once and you're like, okay, I'm fine with that. You can hit something twice and you're like, it's gritting my teeth a little bit. The word whore.
Yes, I knew you were going to hate that.
That's my thing.
Oh, yeah. He calls her a slut. He calls her a whore.
Slut is different to me.
Okay.
Whore is very specific.
Uh-huh.
For me, it is when you're calling me a whore in comparison to my whore. There's a different connotation for me, is that I'm not a whore. I'm a whore that's yours. That I will do all these dirty things for you and only you, in comparison to I'm doing it for everybody.
Are you just thinking about it, Lexx, as it's just degrading to sex workers?
I dislike the word in all connotations. So I don't like being called a whore. I don't like calling people a whore. It is disrespectful to sex workers. It's a word that's specifically meant to degrade. And some people enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my word. So it's automatically going to make me have a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By this point in the book, I think he's used it a couple of times in his inner monologue. And that one really hits me wrong because that shows inner lens of that's how he sees her. It's not just being used as a playful thing during sex to like set a scene, give it a flavor, be it a part of foreplay. It is an actual assigning something to somebody. And that's what just sets my teeth on edge.
So at this point in the storyline, what we get into a rhythm of is competition and smut. Competition, smut. Competition, smut. In my opinion, there are 3 more major smutty scenes, and I have named them, number 1 being kitchen hide and seek.
Yeah.
Number 2 being Aurélie à la mode. And number 3 being Birth of Dom Daddy, which is the epilogue.
No, you're forgetting about turtle truffle.
Oh.
Or whatever you want to call it.
I think we found something that Joey really wants to talk about.
Turtle truffle. I fucking hate you. Oh my God. Oh my God. We have to talk about kitchen hide and seek.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Everything happens at the bar. And they have a full week where they cook before they have their actual competition. And Aurélie doesn't fucking show up at all. Fucking Gray is upset because he's like, what the fuck? You're not there for me. Things got a little scratch my head at that moment. I'm like, oh, he is hooked.
Well, not to mention the head chef is pissed as fuck. Somebody just doesn't show up to work for a week.
Yeah.
She didn't even call. Somebody else called.
Yeah.
To say she was sick and wouldn't be able to make it in.
Crazy. That was weird. That's another Spidey sense moment. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And then she shows back up and he notices that her makeup is caked on, but doesn't correlate it at all to his past experience, which I think is interesting. That was like the, okay, come on.
Right.
You can't tell me that mama didn't try and cover up.
And I'm
So-
shocked he didn't notice that because he
Yeah.
noticed some of the other things and started thinking.
But I think at that point he was too wrapped up in him.
Uh-huh.
This is absolutely where I'm screaming at the book in my house and my neighbors. I'm surprised they didn't call the police.
Okay, let's not forget one gigantic key point that I think was missed.
What's that?
Gray is 22 years old.
Oh, is he 22?
He's 20 fucking 2.
Yeah, I did forget about that.
Because I think
Yeah.
that is a big indicator of why we're seeing a lot of the actions and movements that he's doing.
This is why I've always had a thing for older.
The competition dish, when she finally returns, is croquembouche. It is intended to be a beautiful, precise tower of pastry. So this is literally Gray's nemesis.
Yeah, he's like,
Mhm.
what?
And he's like, oh, fuck me. I am so fucked.
Orally actually helped him on the first dish because the first dish was a combination of a savory with a pastry around it. So knowing that Gray is not great at pastry, Orally offers to help. But Gray is ticked off that she didn't show up all week. And he basically tells her to go fuck herself. Okay, he was a little butthurt by her avoiding him.
Was she avoiding him or was she actually sick? See, that's the thing. Like,
He said she didn't look sick. So in Gray's head, he
Right.
was like, she wasn't sick. She was avoiding me.
he jumps to conclusions.
Whatever, you fucking baby.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. So, croquembouche is created. Gray has burned half his tray. So he presents it to the chef as, it's my interpretation on a Yorkshire pudding, chef. Keep the British out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
This is a French pastry. I am not even going to dignify that monstrosity with a tasting. Get it out of my kitchen. So he's clearly not won this round. Aurélie comes over and she's got this absolutely pristine, beautiful tower of pastry rolled in pistachios for texture
Yeah.
with strings of sugar glass
Yes.
floating around it. This whole time I was starting to think, is she there because somebody just is humoring her? Or is she there because she can actually cook? And this was the moment where I was like, oh, there is some merit to her being there.
Mhm.
Okay. Because for a while I couldn't really figure it out. After she wins, the chef tells her, great, now you can go teach Gray. You're both staying late. Gray, I don't want you to leave this building before you create a croquembouche as beautiful as Aurélie's.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I won and now I'm being
Yeah.
punished. And
Yep.
he was like, tough shit, girlfriend. This is how the world works sometimes.
Yep.
So now they're stuck staying late for at least another 4 hours.
Mhm.
Gray figures, might as well have some fun with it. Oh my God. This next scene was rough for me.
They exchange words about her not showing up for the entire week. They do a wager to make it up to him. So he's going to let her run, and if he finds her in 10 minutes, she will let him hurt her. If he doesn't find her in 10 minutes, he'll bow out of the entire competition and walk away.
I can't believe that he would put this whole thing on the line. This is like his life's dream.
But he didn't.
So he rigs the game then.
He rigged the
Completely.
game. He had the keys, and he had known that the place was already locked up. And the keys were in his pocket. And she doesn't know that. So he is not playing fair. She never had a chance.
So now that he knows that he's rigged the game, he starts preparing for the croquembouche and he figures, fuck it, I'll just go let her hide. I'm going to go start preparing to save time later.
Uh-huh.
Measure out all of my flour, my butter, and my cream.
Yeah. Crème légère au grès.
Oh my God.
He takes a kitchen clock and he sets it for 10 minutes. And he realizes he has enough time to make the crème légère while he waits. He wants to add a little bit of a special ingredient to it. So he starts to jerk off. But as he's watching the clock and he's jerking off and he's having this conversation, and he's like, oh, I got about 5 minutes. I gotta bring myself over the edge. So he picks up his kitchen knife.
Yep.
And while he's jerking off with his right hand, he is running the kitchen knife down his body, thinking of him running that knife down Aurélie's body until he finally comes into the cream.
You kept asking, where's my tipping point? I thought this was it. I was like, you are a psycho.
I was still green flagging it. Waving green flag. Still good.
Lexx, we listen and we don't judge.
We do not judge anybody who reads this and likes it.
Yeah.
Because everybody can have their own flavor that they enjoy because books are a safe place to explore. but I can judge the main character all the fuck I want.
So there's about a minute left on the clock, and he says, I should probably go on and find her. 2 seconds later, that's all it fucking takes.
She's just like hiding under a table.
Yeah.
She wanted to get caught.
I think she tried to get out, realized there was no point, and then just was like, all right, never mind.
And this was the point for me where he's throwing the chairs over, coming over to get her, throwing her up onto the table very aggressively, where I went, there's no safe word.
Yep.
There's no consensual moment happening right now.
Yep.
This is freaking me out.
Yeah. Also, she was just absent for a week and comes back. In my mind, she's hurt.
Yeah.
There's something that she's escaping from home. She's already in a situation where she's used to abuse, and now this is happening.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is what gets me torn a lot of the time when it comes to these very aggressive scenes. You're talking about knives, and you're talking about pretty extreme situations that average people don't have in the bedroom.
Yes.
And it's definitely a kind of kink. And I know that people who are a little bit more experienced within the community know how to do it in a safe, consenting manner. But how do you get there if you don't have this moment of discovery? And how do you feel good about reading something this aggressive in a book?
This is where it got real hard for me in the book. Up till now, I was like, okay, they're exploring together. They're figuring it out together. It's the fact he rigged the game that really killed me on this one. There are times when people can't say no. If they're afraid and they think the only way they can get out is to go along.
Yes. That's what I was starting to get nervous about. He's got a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
Right. Now, again, a book.
Yes.
So if you want to read about this and it's your thing, okay, cool.
Right.
Please make sure you know the difference between book and IRL. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, did I think this was sexy? This is where everything started drying up for me. It's like, no.
This is beyond my level of love. But I like the scene that was set, and I think it is really about that character development and my continued connection to grade.
Joey, all I wanted was a hot chef.
You got the hot chef. But maybe you shouldn't have opened your mouth 3 episodes ago and go, this is nothing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's a big thing.
Oh, I know
There
this
is
is
a
a
lot
thing.
of people in the community.
Oh, I know.
Sadist is very popular. At the restaurant, he ties her to the table.
Yeah.
Because she's fighting back. There's some cutting involved. He cuts her with the blade.
Not deep.
It's a huge contrast seeing like the red bubble up against the fairness of her skin.
So let's push Lexx off the deep end, everybody.
Let me guess. We're going to dessert.
We're going to dessert.
She says to him, if you win one more competition, I'll let you take me home.
Right.
And the next recipe for them to make is ratatouille.
Yeah.
And of course, his flavors are something Chef Matisse has never seen before and loves it. And he ends up winning the competition. Grace says to Aurelie, you're coming home with me. And of course, she protests because she doesn't agree to anything right off the bat. I think she likes that fighting banter with him.
There's a moment where he's like, oh, well, you didn't have to come home with me. And she's like, I believe I was threatened with kidnapping if I didn't come. So here I fucking am. If we give her the benefit of the doubt of this actually being her choice, this is what she wants. She wants pain. She wants to be dominated.
All signs point to not only just having an awakening himself, so is she.
Totally.
As we find out as the story progresses, this is actually really important for her.
It's her one act of rebellion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everything that happens at the house is so good and so bad at the same time.
He brings her home to his charming, absolutely tiny, hole-in-the-wall Parisian apartment that has a really great view, great location. He shows his values where instead of a TV, he's opted for a record player. He has good quality ingredients of food in his kitchen, and that's what he has. He
Mhm.
doesn't have a lot, but what he has is good quality. That made me fall in love with him a little bit. I was like, oh, I love your choices. I love that you chose this apartment because it has full windows that open all the way up. I love that you walk and get your almond croissant every Sunday morning. I love that you choose these quality ingredients. I love that you chose a record player instead of a television and you're playing Edith Piaf.
Oh, yeah.
If he wasn't like so much of a sadist, he'd be
Yeah.
the perfect guy.
Small details, you know.
So obviously they're hungry after a long, hard day. He says, well, you have one of Paris's most promising young chefs at your beck and call. What would you like to eat?
Something sweet.
And that's not what he wants to hear because he doesn't do sweet. And she's like, putain.
What do you mean you hate sweet things? Who the fuck hates dessert? That's the best part. Now I know you're deranged.
Right. I love your French Boston accent. Excellent. If you make me the best dessert I've ever had, I'll let you do whatever the fuck you want to me. And he was like, one wonderful dessert coming right up. And he's like, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing. So he proceeds to putter around. And as he starts to make his bourbon, caramel, cherry, spicy chocolate sundae.
Listen, super sexy that this all came on the fly.
I know.
He opened the fridge and just started pulling ingredients out. I was like, hi.
This is the chef-kink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Orly in the other room is talking back. And he's like, fuck this. I must concentrate on the best dessert.
Right.
So he drags her onto the kitchen table, rips the hem of her dress, and ties it around her eyes so she's blindfolded.
Yep.
Super hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so fun.
And then it goes a little off the rails. But hey.
He's feeding her little bits of chocolate, tiny bits of cherry. And they even have like a sweet moment where she's like, more, please. And he's like, oh, she must be really hungry. Oh, fuck. And he's like, okay, this poor girl hasn't eaten all day. Then he decides he's going to drizzle burning hot caramel on her thighs.
The train is off the track.
No, this is a fuck you moment.
Have
you ever gotten caramel on you?
Yeah.
It's the worst pain you can possibly feel.
It cools on the outside and continues to burn on the inside. You can do some serious fucking damage.
All of a sudden, the red flag is waving.
And there's this one line where it says something to the effect of, and when it cools down just enough to not damage, then he does the line of the caramel up her pussy. And I was like, okay, so kudos for letting it cool down so it doesn't disfigure her. But also, PSA moment, keep sugar away from the pussy. Come on.
Willow did tell us
absolutely
in the beginning that it was questionable use.
Yes.
She wrote it knowing, no, too, Daffy. Do not put caramel on your puss.
Yeah.
Woo! Still was hot as hell. Like, if you took out the part where he's trying to burn her innards from the outside of her body with the hot caramel.
If we had a little scene where he tested it on his own wrist.
Yes.
And went, okay, hot enough to sting, not to do damage, I'd be 1,000% on board because that would show care to the person.
Yep.
And still doing the pain piece that gives pleasure. But as a chef, he also knows what this does to a human being. This is my tipping point. This is we went from hot to nope. Gray, you are just really about you.
I just envisioned the drizzle burns on her thighs afterwards. And now that I'm really thinking maybe there's somebody who's going to notice these burns on her, she's going to get fucking killed. He does proceed to pull her head off the edge of the kitchen cart upside down and face fuck the ever-loving shit out of her.
The level of sexiness in this scene was really ramping up. The eating food off of her body, the assembling dessert there. The caramel fucked it up.
Yep.
But then it started to go back in, and the sharing and the licking in the body, I thought was completely great, but unfortunately, my underwear were shriveling up into my vagina very early on, so it kind of lost some of its luster to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is really the start of their relationship, because after all the beautiful foodness, he brings her to the shower and cleans her up and takes care of her.
Yeah, and he really does take care of her too.
Finally.
She's basically dying. She hasn't gotten off this whole time. He ends up fucking her in the shower. And when he finally pulls out, steps away, he's watching his cum go down the drain and wishing that she was a little bit messier, and how shower sex really isn't his thing, he's discovering. He looks and he sees she is bruised to all fucking hell.
Yeah.
All over her butt. And he flips her around and he's like, Aurélie, what the fuck happened? She's basically caught. She's still not telling him what's happening, but he understands she's being abused.
Finally.
He basically wants to go pay a visit to her father and put him in line.
Yeah.
Just like his dad.
Right. But she says to him, like, you just cut me, burned me, and did all this other stuff to me, and you're complaining now about these bruises?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck do you care? And he's like, yeah, but that's because you said you wanted it. This is not a choice that you have. Somebody is wronging you. I have a real problem with that. If you told me you didn't want any of this, I wouldn't do it. And that was where I was like, oh, fuck. Now they have this conversation.
He just doesn't know how to go about it. He just thought by reading the signals, having her say yes, chef, to him, having her verbalize, yes, I want you to do this, or how do you want it? What do you want? Was enough.
Right. At this point, we know that something darker is happening and things are about to take a big turn. We find out in some short summary that they've been fucking for weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of strange to him and getting increasingly more annoying that he wakes up and he's always alone. She leaves in the middle of the night. I might kind of be in love with this woman, but I would really like to understand what the fuck is going on. He's never slept better. He's so happy. He's found somebody that will appease his dark desires. He's coming in early to do this task in the restaurant, which he happens to have to do with Aurélie that morning. He walks in and he's like, well, there's some lights on already. Okay, weird. He turns and he goes into the kitchen. And I love the way he describes it, that for one blissful moment, his brain couldn't process what he was seeing.
Mm.
And he sees this woman with blonde hair and red, very familiar panties getting fucked. She's clearly very comfortable with him. And then his brain goes, oh my God, it's her. His world crumbles and he just goes, what the fuck is happening?
Out loud.
And they're like, oh shit. She's like, Gray, this is my husband, Blaze.
What the fuck? I did not, for the life of me, see that coming.
They were definitely teasing the dad.
My brain honed in on family, money, daddy's girl. She's got to follow the rules.
Oh.
That every time she acts out, he beats her as part of control. Never did I think husband.
See, and it could be daddy, could be husband.
Here's the kicker. The reason Aurélie is in the competition is because Blaze is the money behind this.
Yep. And he figures like, oh, I'll let her have a little bit of fun this summer.
She's never gonna be sous chef. While I have to travel, we'll let her have a little bit of fun.
And this is where we find out she's watched by the staff. You know, when she was sick, it was probably one of them that called in. Gilded cage.
Fucking asshole. I wanted to slap him so hard.
Gray plays it off. He's like, oh, great, husband. He leaves the room and he's pissed. Aurelie comes back in and there is blood on her lip.
Mm.
It's been split open. Clearly, her husband is beating her to control her, not because she gets turned on by it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently, he doesn't like when people touch his things.
Yeah, and Blaze did not believe for 1 second that Gray and Aurelie were just co-workers.
Right.
Right. Well, obviously he didn't because I was lying through my teeth, so...
Well, I also don't think Blaze would have believed it even if they were just coworkers. Like if one had walked in, men like that always think everybody is threatening them.
This is my possession. You are not to play with my toy.
Yeah.
Don't even look at my toy because she belongs to me.
Gray essentially is like, girl, you don't have to be with him.
Mm-hmm.
I can take care of you. I will give you everything you need.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't make a lot of money, but we can live a life together. We can be happy together. I can make this so that you will never have to worry about him ever again.
He even offers to withdraw from the competition and they just
Right.
go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's willing to give it all up for her.
And he throws it all out there and she's just basically like, no, you don't understand. I'm not afraid of him. I chose this.
Yeah.
The first time he hit me was before we were married,
Mm.
but then I got a diamond necklace afterwards.
Oh, she knew what she was getting into.
She specifically says it's transactional
She wanted it
Yeah.
because she wants the shiny
Uh-huh.
and the pretty,
because she says somewhere earlier that she didn't have anything as a kid.
right? And that's where I lost all respect for her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the point, and I think in the beginning of the episode you asked if I liked her.
Uh-huh.
I was like, she was very bratty and nose up in the air and very socialite-ish in the beginning. Then I started to like her as she was opening herself up and having a reawakening. When I found out she had the husband and she was cheating on him and the reason why she was with her husband, I went, bye-bye. She was meant to be the bad guy. She was meant to be the person that broke his heart, tore it apart, and made him a fucked up man.
I never liked her. I thought she was snooty at the beginning. I thought she was stupid for not even understanding the fucking concept of buying quality meat for less price. Like, you fucking dumbass for wearing heels in the kitchen. I just thought she was fucking stupid. She just wasn't my kind of person ever throughout the whole book. Because I was on Gray's side and I never really liked her in the first place, I was like, come on, Gray, you can do better.
She says, I can't go with you, but we can figure it out. He doesn't need to know. So
Right.
she wanted to keep Gray as the side piece because he made her feel different things.
Yeah, I was so fucking mad at her. But then I really respected Gray for being like, I will continue to be your side piece for about 7.5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Pain, you said you liked Pain? Yeah. Let's make this fucking happen.
To him, this is the goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
He is
Yep.
done. He's going to have her one last time.
Yep. So he figures, what haven't we done yet? Anal. He hasn't claimed that sweet little back hole yet.
He asks Aurelie if her husband's ever done her there, and she said yes. But she says, but you're so much bigger. It's gonna hurt. He's like, I know.
Fucking guy's gonna give her hemorrhoids for the rest of her life.
Thank God he went and got the truffle oil.
Oh,
Could you
jeez.
imagine if he didn't?
So he lubes the shit out of her entire body with truffle oil.
Yeah.
This is the most Michelin star rated kitchen sex I've ever heard. Proceeds to brutally fuck her with zero prep at all. He even mentions at one point way earlier in the book that his dick is about 8 inches long,
Yep.
but it's the size of like a steel pole.
Yep.
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 That it's like
It's thick.
girthy.
Yep.
And I was like, owie, 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 owie. And that's it. He's fucking done with her. He's like, great, here you go. I fucking used you now. And now you can go back to your shitty life and go fuck yourself.
But Birdie, what happens next?
Oh, my friends, you're gonna have to read the book to find out.
Because there's fucking twists upon twists that I didn't see coming.
Yeah.
The competition's still going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Make sure you make it to the epilogue.
Oh.
Delicious.
The epilogue?
Absolutely. Fucked up and delicious. I have never been so turned on by something so fucking weird.
Yeah, it was really good. All I can say is by the end of the book, folks, he learns what a safe word is.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank fucking God.
Yeah. We've already spoiled one thing for you. We have not spoiled enough that we have ruined the whole book. Go read it, and you will be thrilled with the rest of the book.
And the second book, because this is a duet, is actually coming out within the summer of 2025. So you'll get the full story. I'm excited. I've already pre-ordered it.
Of course you have.
Of course.
Is it that time?
I think it's that time.
Since I don't have any French 97 left, it's gotta be that time. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Welcome to
Dishin' with the Dames.
So technically, sort of, kind of, maybe, Gray and Aura Lee are technically co-workers that are stooping each other. Have you ever considered stooping your coworker?
Absolutely.
Whoa!
But it wasn't like a serious job. It was like when I was young doing a dumb job. Yeah, it's never really been something that I think would be a deterrent for me, honestly. Because that kind of like sneaky, covert shit is my jam. Love that. Love it. Yeah.
Lexx, what about you?
Okay, so 2 things. One, let's pretend that I don't run a business with my partner. That doesn't count.
Because you've been stooping your coworker for years.
Yeah, so yes, we've absolutely had sex with each other and in our own studio. Absolutely.
Oh my God, next time I walk in there, I'm going to be so confused. I'm going to be like, where was it? Over here? Over. That would be a great spot. Fuck, now I'm screwed.
Now, working for a third party, no. Like, have I found some coworkers attractive? Absolutely. I will never cross that line because I have a firm belief that in the real world, sex makes things messy. And I do not want to fuck up my livelihood or my work life. So I know that's not a very entertaining or exciting stance, but no, fuck no. And having to see that person again, no.
But that's where I understand Gray in his moment where he's coming inside her without a condom and he's like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't be doing this. God, but I feel so good. My brain definitely can be that way sometimes where I'm just like, no, but I just want it. I want it now. Don't care.
You know what? I think that's probably because half the time the wanting for me is more interesting than the actual action. It's all the lead up and the desire. It's almost always more the journey than the destination in so many things in my life. And I would even say desire, it's the same way.
Oh, but you got to get the payoff at some point.
Yeah, at some point. But also I can go home to my partner and live out that fantasy.
Well, right. And what I'm talking about is envisioning if I didn't have a partner.
Yeah.
So.
And the problem is I'm a very compulsive in the moment person. I'm all about that moment. And the rational brain, she just goes somewhere else. She's like, oh, I'm going to go take a nap right now. You're not needed. And then if I ever have the moment to think about things, I will talk myself out of everything. But if I'm in that moment, I'm like, let's do this.
Absolutely.
But I'm a bit of a type A bossy bitch. So I have been a manager of people since I was 12 years old. Okay. In some capacity, shape, or form, I moved through a career rather quickly to manage other individuals. So never, ever, 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 ever would I do that power imbalance where I would ever fuck one of my employees. Or as lateral manager trying to work with them, I live by the philosophy you don't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That to me is just like me being able to live and have nice things is way more important than getting an orgasm off, because
Yes.
my job will buy me 8 really great toys that will probably do it a lot faster and with a lot less emotional baggage that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, for reference, the only scenario that I would ever really consider doing that in would be at a menial level job.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
where the two of you are menial level people.
Now, I will say I've gone to conferences in my past job where other companies and people were having conferences, and I may have met some people at the hotel bar,
Uh-huh.
and I had no problem sullying my reputation there. But as long as
That's
it
not
wasn't
the same.
someone I worked with,
Yeah, you don't have to eat
that
with them.
was fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to
And
go
I
back
was
to the eating.
kind of getting high fives over breakfast and how hot he was, but that's a whole nother story.
I cannot wait to hear how we assign our numerical values to this book.
God.
Let's fucking do this. All right. Romance. Even just saying
You can't
that
even
I'm
say it with a
laughing.
fucking serious face.
You can give this 1 to 5 roses. Lexx, how romantic was this book for you?
I am giving this 1 wilty grocery store the day after Valentine's Day rose.
I'm thinking it's more the one you find at like the CVS that has been sitting there for 5 days before Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That is now on its last.
Yeah, you know which one I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like it's got that little vial down at the
Yes.
bottom. but
Uh-huh.
The water's all gone now and it's
Yes.
slowly drying out.
Oh my God, so sad.
This isn't romantic to me. There's not love there for me.
Mhm.
Nope. This book's definitely more about the sex and that kind of desire. I wouldn't even say passion because passion is related to romance for me. This is all primal feelings as opposed to la romance.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
1.
How about you, Joey?
I'm going just a tad bit higher attitude. I second everything Lexx says. This was lust. I think it clogged up what someone thought was real emotions. There was no real romance in there. There was no courting. There was no really getting to know each other because they didn't know shit. We weren't there for the romance. There was infatuation is what it was. And that's why I brought it up to a 2, because I think sometimes infatuation can mirror as romance, even though it's not. 2 little roses.
Yeah.
We got all of the dirty scenes, and then and then they had a romance throughout the summer. I think it was 2 lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If we'd had more of the summer romance, we'd have romance.
Exactly. We never got to hear about that part because that's
Right.
not what this book was about.
No.
But it wasn't. They only had like 2 weeks with each other where they were sleeping together regularly. And remember, they were at work all day, so they
Oh,
had
yeah.
a little bit of time after work. They're not even waking up and cuddling or talking in bed with each other. Like,
No.
they're not building shit.
No.
There's no softness here.
No.
And actually, the 1 rose that I am giving this is there because I thought that his heartbreak was the most romantic part of this book.
Yeah.
And how brutally destroyed he was after all of it was the sweetest, most romantic part of the book. You could say that one of the things that he does after they break up is romantic gesture in a way, in a really fucked up way.
No, I still think that was all about him.
I call that revenge. You said you couldn't be with me because of this situation. I took care of the situation. I don't want you.
Yeah.
Even though now you say, hey, we can be together. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so
That's true.
twisted, backhanded revenge is what
Yeah.
I read out of that.
That's
truthfully.
true. Oh, guys, you got to read this book. Okay. So listen, we're not reading it for romance. All right, moving on. let's get into the smut.
Yeah.
So you can give this 1 to 5 water drops. Joey, how wet was this
Oh,
making
this
ya?
was a 4.
Okay.
There was a lot of different schmut. Not everything I was into, so that's why it got knocked down a point to a 4. But it was so well written. Willow knows how to write smut from a male POV that was just hot and sexy. I loved the fact that this all came from his POV. And I think the lust, which was what this book was driven on, and the discovery of I like these dirty things and I'm getting to do them and this is how they make me feel, was so well portrayed in this book. So this got a 4 out of me.
Lex, I can't wait to hear what you're going to rate this.
I'm actually going to rate it at a 3.
Okay. All right.
And a lot of it has to do with there's an abundance of smut here.
Yes.
There's even an abundance of, if you look at it and just analyze it as far as the type of smut, spanking, I'm into it. Tying up, blindfolding, the food. There's a lot there that I actually really like. The reason why it's knocked down so far is just, we understand, we've already established this is somebody who's a sadist. I'm not a sadist.
Right.
I'm not a sub, so I don't like pain in that way. And I don't like inflicting pain on people. And I have very specific views about how doms should be. And that's why it's knocked down so far for me, because all these things that I like are not being done in a way that I like it being done. For the type of thing that it is, it's incredibly well written.
Yeah.
Willow, you wrote it really well. So for the folks who are really into this, I know a couple people like, hey, here, I can recommend this to you. This is your jam. It's not my jam, but here you go. So
Exactly.
a 3.
I'm also at a 4. This was not all my jam, but it was truly shocking. I was having moments of internal conflict where I was like, oh God, I hate this so much, but what happened here? Oh my God. 5 out of 5 for how she wrote it. But yeah, it's a 4 for smut. It was shocking how hot she could make something that I just didn't even really care for. And having almost zero desire to hear fucking shit from Aurelie. So even being like only invested in one of the characters, I'm still rating it that high, which is just high praise. All right, let's hear about the story. So you can give this 1 to 5 storybooks. Lex?
I'm giving it a 3. It kept me engaged the whole time. I like the little plot twists. I don't like the characters, as in I'd never invite these people over for cocktails, but I like reading about the characters and how they interact. It was actually fascinating to hear his internal monologues and where he was coming from. I read this so fucking fast. Like, obviously, it's not a very long book, but I think I did it in an evening because it just read so easily. And that's all about the story and Willow pulling me along. And admittedly kicking and screaming, but I never put the book down because I wanted to know where it was going. And that speaks a lot to the story. And, Joey, let me know how 2 goes.
Yeah.
So I can know if I'm just going to hate Gray forever or if he actually becomes somebody that I'm like, okay, all right, okay, got it. I'm fascinated enough to be like, okay, instead of just Xing out of my brain and being like, glad this is done.
I am going a little bit higher at a 3.5. The story wasn't super original, but you know what? She got me with that fucking plot twist. She really did. I didn't see it coming, and I'm usually one of those people where I'm like, oh, this way, but she really distracted me going that this is a family area. I never saw the husband thing coming, and I really didn't see the shit happening at the end of the book or the epilogue. Like those two, woo! I thought it was phenomenal. I thought there was some intricacy to a book that was only 211 pages long that it really just had me into the point where I want to go read number 2. So 3.5 out of me for story.
Yeah, I'm also at a 3.5. The thing that stuck out to me the most when I went back to think about the story was similar to what you said about There's a lot of meat and potatoes in this book, considering how short it is. We do hear a fair amount about his backstory, a little bit about hers, enough that you feel truly satisfied. I think that's the word. It was satisfying. The story never had a point in it where I went, oh, you know what would have been cool is if they went this way. Or, you know, I really wish that this ending had this, that, or this other thing. I didn't feel that way at all. Every step of the way, I was either pleasantly surprised or very satisfied. Ah, yes, that's the way it should go. Ooh, this feels right. And it moved very quickly. 3.5. All right, where are we at overall? We mix this up, throw it in the pot. How's it come out? You can give this 1 to 5 eggplants. Joey?
All right, this may surprise you, but it's getting 4 eggplants out of me. I actually really liked this. I thought it was fast-paced, quick-moving. I love the male POV. I love the way the male POV was written. I'm so enticed that I went in and I was like, Book 2, when the fuck are you coming out? So the audiobook doesn't always coincide with the book publication release when it comes out, and I will sit down and read it. I will tell you, Book 2 is estimated at 400 and something pages, so definitely a big add-on to this smaller one. There were red flags flailing, but you know what? I was willing to put those in my back pocket for the overall enjoyment, and so 4 out of me.
Lex? I can't fathom. I love the way you
Lex.
How does it stack up for you?
Oh, well, it's funny because I did change my rating from when I first read the book to now. I actually had it pretty low. I was really angry at the book when I first read it.
Yes.
I had to let it simmer for a while, but I'm still only at a 2.75.
Yeah.
For many, many reasons. And again, reminder, this is how I feel about it.
Right.
This is not saying anybody who reads it has anything wrong. They're not wrong. We all have different opinions. You know, it's just this is how it hits me. And it's not my jam. And it's absolutely no surprise that it's not my jam. But I enjoy having these conversations with you guys.
Yeah.
And that's why I still continue to read these books, and even when they're not my thing, because I love seeing a different perspective. And I'm still exploring. Who knows? I might hit one that actually I go, oh my God, I didn't realize this is what I wanted.
Joey and I are pretty aligned on this book. This is also a 4 for me. It read so beautifully. I was immediately looking for what other things has Willow written and what other books has Shay Howe narrated. I'm actually excited enough that I would read book 2, despite the fact that this wasn't my kind of smut, which I can't believe I'm even saying this, because for a while I was like, ugh. But it's the amount of smut, the way it's written, the ease of the story. This is wonderful, cotton candy kind of book.
Yeah.
It's truly fun to read. It's just fucking interesting. She gave us really wonderful food to read about, places to read about, music to hear in our heads. It was very rich and flavorful. Well, folks, I hope this episode, if anything, was at least educational for you. For more fun education on smut, please follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, whatever your favorite platform is. We are definitely on it to get notified on new episodes.
Follow us on our socials. We are the Lusty Library Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon. And over on Blue Sky, we are the Lusty Library Pod.
Guess what, ladies?
What, Joey? What?
Did you think we were going to have another season without me picking a motorcycle club book?
Yes. Goody.
Ladies, now is the time. Get ready, listeners, and start reading our book for our next episode. I've had this book for 6 months and holding on to it to get into the rotation. We are going to be reading Wolf by Paisley Hope. Get your ass in gear and join us for our next episode.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. Oh, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.